Hello and welcome to the Gone Traveling Podcast. We are looking at the BKT EuroCup, the 25-26 season, and we are in episode 4, round 3, looking at this season. And with me, as always, is Marco Munno, communications specialist and collaborator with Sky Sport Italia, and La Giornale di Tipo, on a train traveling around Italy. Marco, how are you doing?
Well, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's the traveling podcast, right? So
Gone traveling, literally. You're taking it literal.
Yeah, we're traveling, but we're always cool with basketball. So
yes, we round 3 is pretty much done. We still have London against Trento on Thursday. The Lions feel like they have to play on Thursday, so we're not going to talk about them. So London fans and Trento fans, sorry. If you want to hear about your club at all, you're not going to get it this week. But we do have 4 undefeated teams, Bajasir and Cedevita in Group A after 3 rounds, and Bord and Ulm in Group B. As of now, there are 3 winless teams, Neptunas and Hamburg in Group A, and the aforementioned London in Group B, who, if they beat Trento, then would not be one of the winless teams. Let's start right away then. You wanted to talk about Besiktas and their victory, 93-88, at home over Chemnitz. So go for it.
Yeah, and it was not an easy victory because Besiktas had to use its bench to beat Chemnitz. I mean, they got a big performance from the captain, Allman, who scored 19 points and was really important with his shooting from the deep. And shooting from the deep that was working into the first half of the game for Besiktas. And Besiktas was also up 13 points at the half of the third quarter, but then Chemnitz got back, and outside shooting didn't work too much for Besiktas, and so they had to basically win the game again because the third quarter was ending at 68 to 68, and also Zizic was instrumental for the victory, 17 points and 7 boards, and they got Kamagate into the spot of center, and they didn't split up the minutes this time. It was Zizic who got the most and was really instrumental to win. So needs continues to in this EuroCup season because it was not an easy game. It was in Turkey against a kind of powerhouse as Besiktas, but Besiktas didn't won easily the game, and instead at the end the coach was really vocal about it, about the defense that allowed 88 points, and they had 22 from Corey Davis and 32 from Yabo. And their pick roll was really important to Chemnitz to take to the game until the end.
Yeah, Chemnitz came into this game having won their last 4 games, 3 in a row in the BBL. And over the weekend, actually on Friday, they scored 111 points against Ludwigsburg. And Amadou Sow, who actually had foul trouble, he had 28 points. This is a nice Chemnitz team. I think they're a lot further along than many people, including myself, thought. This is the Chemnitz team that in their very first game trailed by 17 points to Paninios and actually led the game by 13. So that's a 30-point swing, which is obviously massive, before losing in overtime. And, this is Yebo is his 32 points. That was just off his 33 personal record that he had twice in the 2023-24 season. And that was the year Chemnitz won the FIBA Europe Cup, and this is he's sort of their heart and soul, and he obviously totally showed up. This is a Chemnitz team that's gonna battle. You saw that coming back from the big deficit, and they may be 1-2 right now, but having lost a tight game in Turkey and then also in Greece, so very impressed with Chemnitz. The game I want to talk about is Slask Wroclaw going against Cluj, U-BT Cluj-Napoca. Emotional roller coaster. Slask came out in front, won it 94-93. Came back from a 16-point deficit in the third quarter. They had no answer for Fats Russell. He ended the game with 21 points, 7 rebounds, 15 assists. That was just one off the record for the EuroCup, and was actually close there for maybe the 10th triple double in EuroCup history. Slask got a break when Russell had to go to the bench with his fourth foul, just 63 seconds into the fourth quarter. And, Slask had just come back and actually pulled ahead. And then, that was really important for them. The game was then, tied at 86-86, and Kadri Gray hit back-to-back threes, and it was an 8-point game. And then Issof Sanon, had a breakaway for a dunk and missed. And, that would have made it a 10-point game. And Slask actually didn't score again the rest of the game. They didn't score the final 2 minutes. And they almost ended up losing, So, Stefan Djordjevic, great game off the bench with 19 points, 8 rebounds. Noah Kirkwood in that comeback. From 16 to the lead, had a big role in that. Ended with 15, and don't look now. Cluj is at 1-2, but don't look now. You have Slask at 2-1, which you think about their previous 3 years in this competition. They combined for a 6-47 record over 3 seasons. So having them at 2-1, I'm sure Slask fans are pretty excited right now. Anything
Absolutely.
on that? Anything on that game?
Well, I think we have to emphasize that facts speaks facts. So into the game he came from the 37 points performance, and he delivers again. So even if the wasn't the one that was expected. Individually is really one of the best player of the competition as of now.
11 assists at halftime. He had 11 assists at halftime. Absolutely crazy.
Also changing between points in last game and assists in this game, and it was really also close to the triple-double. It was missing so much. So, in a triple-double in EuroCup, or even getting near to a triple-double, is not really easy to see.
Yeah. All right. Who's your player that you want to talk about?
He talked about important threes, so I want to emphasize the three, maybe. The most important one for Turk Telekom, that was by Allman. And we talked about the urgency of Turk Telekom to win a game, and they had a close one with Buduknos. And in the match, the MVP was Allman. the best scorer of the game, but not only because he scored 16 points. That is his best game in this EuroCup so far. And he was also energetic on defense, and he scored the bucket that really shifted the momentum. It was a 3-point isolation into the one-on-one, and he scored when after the 3-point of Asher, but 3 minutes at the end of the game, Turk Telekom was still under 68 to 70, and thanks to Allman, they also scored the two free throws that the previous action when Yogi Ferrell who tied the game at 73. He was into the switching onto the pick and roll, and he was also running to cover up Yogi Ferrell that missed it. And so at the end, Turk Telekom got away with the win, and Allman was really instrumental for that. Not for the points, but also for the defense and for the moment.
Yeah, Kyle Allman's a guy that I've been following for many years, since the 2021 season at Favorigo when he was playing in the Basketball Champions League, and then obviously moved over to Paris. Dashavaka, now this is he's a couple of years now in in Besiktas. Great player. A guy that I want to talk about is Alfonso Plummer, playing for Manresa, moving to Manresa from Ulm, and a really big game in Manresa's 101-94 victory at home over Jerusalem. 2-1 record in Group A. This was a home game for Manresa, but because of security reasons, the game was played without any fans, which was kind of difficult for the Spanish team, getting that energy. And, it was Jerusalem was really playing well and actually had a 13-point lead midway through the third quarter. And that's when Plummer kind of changed the game. He buried 2 3-pointers, and then added 2 3-pointers to start a 24-10 run. And at the end of that run, he had another another 3-pointer plus 3 free throws. And that got them back in the game, and then added another 3 free throws, and then added a final score with 73 seconds to decide the game. And, that was basically the winning basket. Plummer is no stranger to hitting 3-pointers. Last season at Ulm, he hit at least 3 3-pointers in 10 of his 17 games. So the Puerto Rican has really, a knack for hitting the shots. And, this is a Manresa team, them scoring scoring 101 points is a pretty big deal. So, really wanted to point out Plummer's impact. Ended up with a career high of 23 points. So we're actually going to move from Alfonso Plummer to his former team. And you wanted to talk about Christopher Ledlum with ratiopharm Ulm.
Yeah, Ulm was winning again. And so they had really a tough victory against Lietkabelis in away after losing into the domestic league. And Ledlum was the best one, the best player of the game, basically. And he's always improving into his EuroCup campaign. So he scored 10 points at the first game. He had 20 the second one, and now he's got 26. And also he had 4 rebounds, 5 assists. So he was really all around into the victory of Allman that tried to go away from the beginning, but it wasn't easy, and he was really strong along all the game, and he had a really a strange story. I mean, he was playing in Harvard in NCAA. Then he went to St. John, but he was missing a season because of the pandemic, and for that he asked for another year of eligibility. It was denied by the NCAA. So last season he went up to Europe, to Portes, and he was the MVP of the second league in France. But you're not really sure when one player got to another league how he will work. And instead, as for now, he's really working good for Ulm, and also seems like he's always improving. As for now, the fourth for scored point into the EuroCup, and seems like he's improving so much. He's only 24 years old. He seems like old or a bit not so young in a team full of youngsters as Ulm. But it seems like he's finding his rhythm, and he's really important to the team that really stands undefeated on EuroCup as for now.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting that him coming from France. That team has a very big French connection, and I don't just mean their kids with Mohamed Dikate and Maïssa Faye, the two youngsters they added. Obviously, there's the past of players French players that have been there, but so actually I didn't check him. So Malik Osborne. Christian Senkfelder, and Bryce Brown all played in France. So definitely, maybe them scouting so much in France for the young kids. I wonder if that's kind of led them to maybe pick up a couple of French players who were in France. Just one thing on Ledlum, fun fact, he does not have a Wikipedia page in English. There's one in Spanish, but nothing in English. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I am going to move to Cedevita, undefeated, with a surprisingly comfortable victory over Aris. They had also been undefeated. And it was the impressive part of this game was the defense. They only allowed 59 points. I think they allowed 69 points in the other home game that they had against Manresa, 8 points in the fourth quarter, and you didn't get a massive monster performance from Stewart, who was obviously one of the superstars from round two. Moja Gibson had 19, but he had 19, I think, after, maybe 25 minutes or something like that. Didn't score the rest of the game. And the guy I want to talk about is Joseph Girard, who ended up hitting 4 3-pointers for 16 points. And, this is a guy that, last season he was the leading scorer in the Lithuanian league, and coming over to Cedevita, with kind of that set up already. It was interesting to see what he would be able to do, and he's really shined. This was his first big outing, and with the 16 points and the 4 3-pointers. This is a guy that, has shown his entire career that he can hit from the outside. He, in his 3 final years of college basketball, 2 at Syracuse and 1 at Clemson, final 3 years was at 40%, 38%, and 41% from 3-pointers. So this is a Definitely a guy that can light it up from the outside. Hit 41% last year in Lithuania for Panevezys. Interesting about Girard is that he's actually from a place called Glen Falls, which is in New York. It's upstate New York, about 30, 40 kilometers north of Albany, not far from the New Hampshire border. But another guy from Glen Falls who also went to the same high school was Jimmer Fredette, who obviously had a long NBA career, played over here in Europe and over in China, 3-on-3 career, etc. Jimmer Fredette. So he went to the same high school. And Girard actually was a superstar football player, American football player in high school too. Had offers to play basketball and football, and then also had interest in from teams to play football. Won a state championship in football, and this is my last thing on Girard. He was twice named Mr. Basketball. Mr. New York Basketball, which, if you think about, New York City, him being named twice as the sorry. No, he was named Mr. New York Basketball after his senior year, for his senior, but he was 2-time named the New York Gatorade Player of the Year. So, but just if you think about how many great players are in New York City as well, obviously, to think that Joseph Girard took that mantle twice is pretty impressive in my eyes. Okay, so do you, anything on Girard or Cedevita or Cedevita?
Well, about Cedevita, I think all the eyes will be on their next match because they're undefeated and they will go against BAXI.
Okay, well then let's move forward. Let's move forward then. You let the cat out of the bag. Let's look ahead to round 4, Tuesday, Wednesday. Go for it.
I think BAXI, as for now, is keep on winning. We always said that they seems like the number 1 favorite. They're kind of solidifying their status, and now we got Cedevita, who had a strong start, who had a strong game against Aris. A bit surprising, not the win, but the win with that margin. So we are looking at the clash against each other, and it's like that will be the highlight of the next round. I think it would be the most important game. And also we got Allman Besiktas that will clash, and it will be really another interesting game to see.
Yeah, Ulm is 3-0 and Besiktas is at 2-1. So obviously that's a big showdown. I think Chemnitz at home against London. Depending on what happens with London tonight, Chemnitz would love to grab another home victory, pull the 2-2. So I think that would be interesting. And you're going to see a victory. You're going to see one fewer team be winless as Neptunus and Hamburg face off at 0-3 and 0-3. So we'll know at least one team will remain winless. So let's see. All right. Anything else about this week? About this week's games, etc., that you want to talk about?
Well, I think we also watching Berg not losing any game so far, and we will see how far they will come. Next round they got Lietkabelis, so we will see if Ulm loses, they win, they will be first and undefeated into their group. So it seems like your prediction is really accurate and Berg is really working.
Yeah.
As for now.
Borg have the number one defense in the league. They've allowed through the first 3 games only 61.3 points through 3 games. So definitely are shutting it down at the defensive end, and we'll see what happens if Lietkabelis can do much about that. You know, I mean, Lietkabelis is sort of, let's see, where Lietkabelis, 246 through 3 games, yeah, so middle of the pack. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Well, actually, let's see, offense for Lietkabelis, 12th, yeah, 82 points per game. So, all right, Marco, then why don't you let everybody know where they can find you on social media, etc.?
Well, my name is Munno, pretty on all the social media, but basically on X. So you will find me there more than on the others.
Yeah, and that is MUNNO for Munno. And I am at Hein News, and that's HEINNEWS. Hein News on Twitter /X, and Mr. Hein News on the Instagram. So with that, wish you all a pleasant week. Marco, enjoy the traveling. Hopefully everything goes well for you there. And we will talk to you next week. Enjoy the games, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.